All right, y'all. So now we're going to continue our conversation about unit conversions and dimensional analysis and what happens when these problems get a little bit more complicated, right? We're not always wanting to just convert milliliters to liters, but sometimes we need to look at things that are over time or what we call a double unit. And so when you are dealing with a unit conversion problem that has a double unit, a lot of our same rules are going to apply. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happens when we have these double units, okay? So like I said, don't fret, right? No panic. You might, see something like 60 miles per hour, and then right, like our speedometers have the kilometers on there too. That conversion is on your car when you look at it. It's already there, but it's looking at miles per hour versus kilometers per hour, and so no fretting. All of our old rules still apply. You're always going to start with what you are given in the question. That's going to be true all year. So you'll hear me say that all the time. Then canceling on the diagonal, still so important. So what is going to be different here is that before our problems beautifully canceled, like down, down, down. And that was great. But now we're also going to have canceling up. So take a look. Look out for those as you do these problems. And then we're also going to need to deal with asking ourselves about what is bigger. That is still true. A minute or an hour, a second versus a day. We are going to start using those time things in our life as well. And so just as a reminder, just so we're clear, there's 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and 365 days in a year. Most of those are things that you know, but I want to get them straight right now, okay? We don't typically use the 52-ish weeks in a year because it is an ish. And so make sure you're actually doing when you need to talk about years, go from days to years as you look at those things. So let's take a look at what this might look like, okay? So I am given that there are 32.6 kilometers per hour. That is my given. And so that still is going to be where I start. Let me get rid of this. Won't let me. Okay. So 32.6 kilometers. Now what happens is, remember earlier that first box under our given was blank? Now that goes there. I'm actually going to use a different color just to help us stay clear. So I think about this in two ways. I'm going to get rid of the kilometers first. So I'm going to go kilometers, remember, then we go to our base, to meters, to centimeters. Okay, so kilometers to meters, meters to centimeters. See how I did my units first? I didn't even think about numbers yet. Now I do that what is bigger question, right? So meter and a kilometer, which one's bigger? A kilometer. Keep that King Henry died drinking chocolate milk, right, in order. Kilo, that's our biggest. It's always going to get the one. And there are 1,000 meters in that thing. All right. Then diagonally, I had meters. So what's bigger, a meter or a centimeter? A meter, and it's made up of 100 centimeters. So now I have canceled kilometers, kilometers, meters, meters. Right now I have centimeters over hours, which I don't want. So this is where we start bringing in the other unit. So like I said, the philosophy of canceling on the diagonal is still true. So the fact that I have an hour down here at the bottom means I'm going to cancel it on the diagonal. That's still the diagonal, friends, right? It's just the diagonal up. Okay. Then I want to take a beat and think about what unit am I trying to get to. So I'm given hours. I'm in hours, and I'm asked to get to days. So I take a pause and I think, okay, hours and days, can I relate those directly? The answer is yes. But let's say it had been weeks. Well, I don't know how many hours are in a week. So I would go hours to days and then days to week. Or if it had been a year, hours to days, days to a year. Or if it had been seconds, right? Let's say it was going the other way. I don't know how many seconds are in a day, but I do know that in a day, there are 24 hours. And I know that in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes, and that in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. Okay, so you could just keep going. So for this one, though, we do know that direct relationship. Pause, ask yourself what's bigger, an hour or a day. A day is bigger, so it gets the 1. and then the 24 goes on top. Okay, so again, keeping in mind everything on the top you multiply by, everything on the bottom you divide by. And now we all know science and math well enough to know that if there is multiplying by 1 or dividing by 1, you don't actually need to place that into your calculator. All right, so this is a ginormous number, which makes sense. We were going from kilometers to centimeters, right? Centimeters are super small. And so it makes sense that that number would change. So it is 7824000. 00. And okay, great, 78 million. Perfect. Don't forget to include your unit in your final answer. Remember, units are super important. Let's take a look at another one. All right, so meters to feet. Ding, 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 ding. Right? We've got metric to English. That should set off like that magic alarm in your head. Maybe not that exact noise, but it should at least set off a red flag. Okay, so going from meters to feet, I know I have to use that conversion factor. So I am mapping this out before I do it. So I'm going to go to centimeters, and then from centimeters to inches, and then inches to feet. You can map it out on the bottom too. I know that I need to go from seconds to minutes. Well, fortunately, whoop, I can do that in one step. Fantastic. So here we go. 14 meters on top. And I'm going to put seconds on the bottom. Let's keep going with our distance first. So meters to centimeters, centimeters to inches, inches to feet. You get good at this, right? Like if you map it out ahead of time, that makes your life so much easier. That's a nice little trick. And then again, cancel on the diagonal. Okay, so meter, meter, centimeter, centimeter, inch, inch, whoop, left with feet. Good to go. Then I've got seconds on the top. I'm sorry, on the bottom. So I need to get rid of them by placing it on the top. Seconds. And we're asked for minutes, which I can do directly. Great. So now we can plug in all of our numbers. What's bigger, a meter or centimeter? A meter. How many? 100. This is like how your brain should be doing this. What's bigger, a centimeter or an inch? An inch. How many? 2.54. What's bigger, a foot or an inch? A foot. How many? 12. What's bigger, a minute or a second? A minute. How many? 60. Okay, that's literally like how your brain can go through these problems to help you sort of think it out. So reminder, everything on top I am multiplying by, so 14 times 100 times 60. Everything on the bottom I'm dividing by, so divided by 2.54, divided by 12. Don't need to deal with those silly little ones. 2, 7, 5, 6. And that is going to be feet per minute. Okay? All right, so now it's your turn to give one of these a go. So I do want to take a second to point out this unit though. Notice you have a little d and a big D. Okay, little d, deci, big D, deca. I intentionally put them in the same problem so that we could take a minute to clarify those units, okay? Or if you feel better, just write out the word deca. It doesn't matter to me. So give this one a go and submit an answer. And remember, if you're struggling as you go through these, please ask, speak up. And there are other people around you too, and I'm here, so ask questions. All right, here we go. Here's another one. So take note, this one's fancy, this one's long. You've got it. I have faith. Give yourself space and grace to get through this. And good luck, and submit your answer. All right, so that wraps up doing the double units. So good job.